Ladies and gentlemen, guess what?
Guess what?
Guess who's back?
We are back, y'all.
With another episode of No Business Like Show Business. My name is Preston.
And my name is Nadia.
And we're your host, and we're so excited to be with you today.
Yeah, on this Sunday evening.
We're recording it on Sunday. You'll actually hear this tomorrow. We record these kind of out of sorts to make sure that we have different weeks that are taken care of, but we want to check in every month with just us.
Yeah.
So in between the interviews that we've already recorded, we wanted to say hey.
And what's cracking in our lives?
That's right. How you doing, Nad?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Today was a good day.
Today was a good day.
This week has been...
Your mom's back?
My mom's back. You guys, my mom's back. I know we mentioned that we're going to be moving.
Yeah.
So she offered to stay a little longer to help us with our little guy so that we can move because it's just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
You know, that song is the first time that I ever got electrocuted.
What? How?
I ever tell you about this?
I didn't even know you were ever electrocuted. That makes sense now. There's some things I'm starting to put together.
It's why my hair's so crazy. And why I'm so crazy. Yeah, I got electrocuted. I had a necklace that was given to me as a gift.
Okay.
And it was an all metal chain necklace.
Okay.
And it was in Florida, so, you know.
Oh, God.
And,
all kinds of crazy things happen in Florida.
And
Florida.
every night, it was past my bedtime, but every night they would play Achy Breaky Heart on the radio at this particular radio station. I had this like small little radio that was my parents' and they didn't use it, so I took it to my room.
Okay.
And so every night I wanted to listen to that song.
Why?
Well, because I don't know why. It was just my routine.
Was it your jam of the day?
It was my jam
of the time?
At the time, I was like, this is it. This song was written for me, my Achy Breaky Heart. I couldn't have been older than 5 or 6. But that night, I had unplugged the radio during the day, right? But I had to plug it back in. And usually mom and dad plugged the radio in. But it was past my bedtime, so I couldn't go ask. And so I went to turn it on, it was off, and I was like, oh, crap. And so I went to go plug it in, and I had my necklace wrapped around my fingers because I was playing with it. So I have my necklace and the stereo, and I go and plug it in, and I get electrocuted from the wall socket. Right?
That's crazy. So, but you didn't put the necklace into the hole.
On accident, I did.
Oh.
So it was hanging on my hand, and it just hit the little two-prong.
Maybe you have superpowers now.
I just haven't figured them out yet.
Yeah.
Man, if I had superpowers and they were dormant for 20 years, I'd be so mad.
Yeah. You're like, I didn't use these. I didn't spend my time using these all this time.
I could have electrocuted someone.
Or who knows?
Dark.
Maybe you could have just started like some like controlled
power
like the
grid.
Weather like they're probably trying to do now.
Look, I'd make my own power grid and charge some good money for it, you know?
Yeah, it'd be solar. You're like you're solar man. Solar man.
I like that. I don't think there is a solar man.
No.
That's copywritten, guys, if you're
like
listening.
Tesla, but like man.
Tesla would be so cool. But yeah, that's the first time I got electrocuted. And the reason that song came up is because, of course, I was electrocuted, so I had to wait to listen to the music. And by that time, Achy Breaky Heart was over, but that wonderful tune was on.
What wonderful tune?
The one we were singing, and I literally just forgot.
Oh, just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try.
I have a memory of me holding ice on my finger because it was swollen from being electrocuted. Listening.
Did you get in trouble?
My parents didn't even know until the day later.
I was going to say, well, guess what? They know now.
I snuck downstairs. I got a bag of ice myself and put it around my finger.
Wait, and you were 5?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh, we're in trouble with our Judah.
I know.
Awesome.
He's already screwing things on and off. It's crazy.
He's a year old. I'm like, how are you taking that little tiny cap off of that thing and putting it back on? But anyway.
He's going to get us in some serious trouble.
Yep.
You guys, this podcast has been a wild ride so far.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. I mean, I know we keep talking about, I feel like we're learning as much as you guys are, I hope. And it's just been really encouraging to listen to everybody's story and just, be a part of it and put it out there and also feel like we're doing stuff at the same time.
Yeah, it's something I look forward to every week. Nod knows every day I'm doing something for this podcast.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm excited.
It's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. If you're listening now and this is your first time, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
If you've been on every week, it would mean so much if you were to share this with some friends of yours.
Yeah, rate it if you haven't already. Share it, subscribe. Could just commit already, okay? We're like 9 episodes in, you guys. Come on.
Come on, you know you love us.
Just commit. I know it's hard to commit in LA. Nobody wants to commit to anything, to parties, to events, to dinners, to people, to one another.
It's
so
tough.
Just figure it out.
Listen, this doesn't have to be like dating in LA.
No.
It can be simpler.
Yeah.
We're not going to break your heart.
We're not. At least we're not going to try.
Speaking of our past guest, I am so interested to know what has been the biggest lesson that you've learned talking to Nad.
From all of our, just in general?
From our guests. I feel like I've learned a lot, and I'm just curious, is there any kind of standout point?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like doing. Like, don't think, just do. I mean, there's just a lot of, I was, a trainer for a really long time, and I used to tell my clients, like, don't think, just do. Because I'd be like, you can do anything for a minute. You can, and I'd have people sprinting on the treadmill at like a 10 or whatever they can sprint at. I'm like, and they'd be like, a minute? Oh my gosh. I like, you can do anything for a minute. You can do anything for 30 seconds. And I think that that's part of what I feel like I'm picking up here is like, everybody's journey for success is just so different.
Yeah.
And, but everybody's constantly doing. And I think that for me, I think it's figuring that out. Like, what is that consistent, like, doing and kind of having, like, a laser focus?
Yeah, the focus thing is tough for me, to be honest with you. That to me in life is the hardest thing. Is I find, you mentioned earlier being a kid in a candy shop. I get stoked about a lot of things. Right. And so I'm like, let me do that. Now let me do this. Now let me do that. And I'm excited about just seeing stuff through, And I feel like...
Well, you saw this through.
This podcast? Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we're doing it.
Yeah, this is kind of a crazy story. We had the dream to do it. I had the dream to do it.
Yeah, this was not my dream. Sorry, guys.
I came to Nadia and I was like, hey, babe, I got this awesome idea. Something we can do together. Because we don't often get to do a ton of work together. I mean, we try to. But
the first thing that we actually did together, oh my God, we should tell them. Okay, so this is a sidetrack. So
let's sidetrack after this.
Okay, go.
Because I definitely want to sidetrack into that. That's great. But I came to Nana and I was like, yo, we need to do this podcast. And she was like, what's a podcast?
No, I wasn't like, what's a podcast? I was like, why?
She was like, why? And she was like, who's going to want to listen to us? And I was like, I don't know.
I was like, awesome. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah, for real. She was
you
like,
want to do a podcast? Great. Who are you going to do it with?
Exactly.
He's like, I was thinking you. And I was like, no, I don't want to do a podcast. Why am I going to do a podcast? I don't even listen to podcasts.
And now you do, right? Your world has kind of been open a little bit?
Not really. I mean, I listen to some podcasts.
But the ones that you do listen to, you make sure to subscribe and
I do. And actually, I do enjoy them now. I was one of those, when I heard about podcasts, I was one of those consumers of podcasts where I'd be like, oh my God, just get to the point. Why? I don't want to hear you talking for 10 minutes at the beginning. I don't care what you were doing. I'm like, why are they talking so much? Just get to it. And then... It did for the certain podcasts that I did commit to and chose to like hit that subscribe button. I actually started to find them endearing and or interesting and entertaining. So I kind of like their banter and like what's going on, and so it's actually a different experience for me now.
Yeah,
like being on this side of it.
And you're like, now I want to hear from the host. And how they're doing.
Yeah, maybe we'll still not listen to a 3-hour podcast like you will, but it's a pretty cool medium, I think.
It's been fun, and obviously you can tune in on YouTube as well if you don't enjoy the audio version. But yeah, the first project we got together on, the first thing we did together, you were going to talk about that. You're going to rabbit trail.
Well, why was I going to rabbit trail?
I don't know.
I think I was going to talk about, this is we don't get to do a lot of things together. Yeah. And I think that one of the couple of first things that we had dabbled in working in together, we've done, he did some music things for me when I was trying to do some comedy stuff that I was writing, a theme song for a sketch that I had written for one of my characters, and And then you asked me to be a part of Twinsies.
Yes.
Which
Twinsies was an online web series that I created because I was fed up, to be honest with you. I was like, you know what? I just want to act, and I don't know anyone doing anything. I know everyone that I know is talking about doing something. So I'm going to literally just grab my iPhone and put it on a tripod, and in times that I didn't have a tripod, put it in a tree. And
and he did.
And I called it Twinsies because I needed more than one character, so I played two twins, and so I would film the different twin interacting with the other one, and then I put together these series of episodes, and you were in one of them.
Yeah, he asked me to be in one of them, and it was funny because at the time I was like, I can be so like, and I was like, we were friends, but not really like close friends. And I was like, how long is this going to take? Like, because I just, when you're doing favors for friends and people that you don't really know, it's like, I mean, listen, like, I get it. But it's like you get to a point where you're just busy and you don't, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to go be an extra on your thing for like the 100th time. Like this is like not paid.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't seen any of your things, but I'm just speaking from experience.
No,
like,
totally.
Sometimes even the quality is like, oh, like I'm an extra and I'm like even out of focus. Like this is crazy. It's just crazy. So at first I was like, but you were so respectful of my time.
Yeah, that's something that matters a lot to me. Is if I'm going to ask someone to do something for free, I'm going to at least honor their time.
Yeah, and you were like had me in and out, and I was played like a love interest, and I thought that was so cool that like when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, like he's so resourceful, like he's just a go-getter. So we had worked on that together.
Yeah,
and then and we're actually thinking about rebooting it, which is awesome.
Yes, we've been talking about our production company, talking about putting out more Twinsies, but in a like you would see on TV fashion, like more of a story, more characters, more like a show, than just like a little web.
So I guess now that we're putting it out there, at some point we're gonna have to get to that.
Oh, hey, I'm ready. I'm ready.
So that was fun.
Ready to rumble.
So that's exciting. And then what else did we work? Oh, so then we worked together on this. I had written a song to do a Sia parody.
Yeah, the Sia, the singer, the artist.
I'm sure you guys know, right? So like Elastic Heart, the song.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, like
she had that awesome video where Shia LaBeouf is like dancing in a cage.
In like a nude bodysuit, and both of them were in a nude bodysuit, and I wrote this song.
Which is actually really, like, it was a good video.
It was such a good video, and I was like, I need to figure out a way to like do something with this.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to, I would like wrote this thing, and anyway, so I asked him to help me record the vocals, and
that's right.
And he did, and then right after he had done Twinsies, I was like, I should ask him to be in this episode with me, or not episode, but this video for his parody. And so I had asked him, I think maybe a couple weeks after that, we had done that video, and I was like, hey, so I have a pitch. Remember that song? Because it was kind of messed up. It's like, dude, I'm not going to be like, hey, will you record this song for me? But I'm going to have some other dude like play the just lip sync to your vocals.
Oh, we should mention that I was 90 pounds heavier than I was.
Well, that was the thing. That was just so not funny, but I'm not trying to be like an asshole. But it was like, I was like, oh man. So here's the thing though. That video, that Shia LaBeouf video, like, so you would be Shia LaBeouf. And he was like,
sweet, I can do it. And then she was like, in the nude suit.
In the nude bodysuit. And he was like, okay, why don't you give me like a month?
I was going to lose 90 pounds in a month.
Or even like, I don't know, a substantial amount. And I was like, yeah, I didn't say this at the time, but I was like, dude, you're going to need more than a month. And I was like, awesome. Okay, you let me know how that goes. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to go do paleo. And then I was like, awesome. And then it's so funny because I was like, he had helped me out a ton. And he was super generous with his time. So at the time I was like, you know what, dude, I'll train you 3 times a week for free. You got to meet me at the gym.
Because Nadia in her previous life before full-time actor was an incredible trainer.
And I still do a little bit of training now, but it's super limited.
But you have like selected clients, but she was like top of the freaking tier.
I don't know about all that. But
I can say that
you.
about you. You don't have to say it.
But yes.
And I didn't know this. I did not know this. I didn't. I knew that you trained.
Okay, but like, come on, like honestly, like even if I was a shitty trainer, would you have been like, oh man, like she's not good? Like, did you have experience with trainers?
I had zero experience with trainers. The only experience that I ever had in a gym was going to a gym with some friends of mine who also didn't work out. You guys know who you are, and I love you. But we would go and we would talk to each other about like what we think that we should do.
I can't. Right? See, I just
we would look around and we'd be like, oh, they're doing that. Okay, well, let's do that for like 10 sets, and then we'll go on to the next thing. And there was no form. There was no
probably
dedication.
No sweating.
Zero sweating. Like the kind of sweating that you do whenever, it's a little warm outside. Like that kind of sweating.
It's like, let me go drink my Gatorade and let me have... Anyway, it's just crazy. So, I was a trainer for a really long time, and you
gave me an ultimatum.
What was the ultimatum?
The first of many. But this was I'm just kidding. You gave me the ultimatum. You said, look, I will help you out because I think that you need help, and you've always helped me and stuff like that. You're very kind. And you're like, so I have to go to the gym to keep myself going. And you're like, so I will train you, but you have to show up.
Oh, right.
Like this can't be I can't do it today. Let's do it tomorrow.
No. Yeah, I wasn't about that life.
She was like, I'll help you for a month, but you gotta put in the work.
That shit was hilarious because I was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna this is for free, so you got to meet me on my turf when I'm there.
Yeah.
And so he agreed to it, and then he's like, I'll be there. And I just remember the first day. And he was like, now let's go grab some weights.
No, you said go grab weights.
No, I said, let's go grab some weights.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, cool.
How much do I get is what I asked her. And she said, just get what you feel comfortable.
Like what you think will like tire you out.
Yeah, exactly.
This fool came back with like
25s.
some 25s. And I was like, yeah, no.
I did like one or two, and she stops me and goes, you're going to need to go get 5s. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
5s?
I said maybe 5s and 7s.
Because I don't even know if my form was so bad. I didn't know this. So I'm sitting there. I'm thinking that I'm able to lift these 25. Well, guess what? I don't have any kind of good form, and anything that I was doing was with my body. It wasn't with my biceps.
It was just like all your momentum.
So what she taught me is go get those 5s, and I've never worked out as hard as I had in my life at that time. At that time, after a workout with 5s, I'm talking 5s. I'm at LA Fitness in Hollywood. I'm talking Superman is to my right. The Hulk is to my left, right? These guys are
dudes in bodysuit, like those like sweatsuits that are doing jump rope and like doing like burpees
speed rope,
and jumping. It's like, what? Yeah.
Lifting themselves up with their chin, like just doing stuff that you only see on TV.
And he was not prideful and did not have an ego. And he was like, all right, let me go get some 5s. And
at the time, I was like,
push-ups on the knees.
There's nothing to be prideful about. At the time, I was like, I can't even do 5s.
So it was awesome. And so
and then
fast forward, he lost like all this weight, which is crazy. But fast forward, we never shot the video.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it took me a lot longer.
And then a lot of life happened, and we never shot the video. So it's fine. By that time, it was like the song was like
lost its fever.
It was like nobody cared about Elastic Heart anymore.
Yeah.
And so
if you care about Elastic Heart,
maybe one day we'll do it anyway, just because it's a passion project. But
we should at least put the audio out for people who donate to our Patreon.
Maybe that will be that. So yes,
if you jump on the Patreon and you're so inclined, guess what?
You can have access to that.
We'll give you that song for free.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's all. Back to
doing this podcast together is something we're excited about because, I mean, really, those are the projects we were writing something for a long time. We're going to revisit, but
pilot that we were going to do like a pilot presentation for.
And that's what going back to the original question of like, what are we learning through this? I think for me, I definitely second the lesson that you were talking about how just shut up and do kind of. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's how you said it, but the
don't
idea.
Think, just do.
Don't think, just do. That's right. It's just about going and doing the work that's required. And, being real with you guys, if you're an actor now, then you know what we're talking about. If you are an aspiring actor, then you're going to know what we're talking about. But often it feels like I don't know what to do. Like you feel like, okay, I can go to class, but then I can also do a workshop, but I also need headshots, but then, who am I going to give the headshots to? And then like, it just seems like this freaking hamster wheel sometimes where you literally feel like I don't even know what would take me to the next level,
It's like, what is the next level?
Because everyone's story is so different in how they get connected to the industry. Everyone's story is so crazy. And it's like, some people it takes 100 years. Some people it takes 5 months.
Some people it takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but it feels like that anyway.
Exactly. And I think one of the lessons through that is obviously Charlie, she's getting off the bed. Our little puppy wants to get off the couch and she's too small, so she can't do it on her own.
She can't jump, guys. And she's real hot because I'm not even going to complain about it, but it's hot.
It is. And we had to turn off the air because I listened to the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and you can hear the air a little bit.
We had the air
on one of them. Yeah. I was like, look, we can keep this on and we don't even hear it. And you kind of hear it. So I'm trying to protect you guys. Anyone out there with the misophonia?
Oh, God. What's that?
That's where, like, you hear weird sounds, like someone chewing, and it, like, undoes
I have a friend like that. You know who you are. She cannot stand to hear people chewing. She literally gets so annoyed that she'll be like, I want to punch them in the face. Like, to hear, it's not even like they're chewing Doritos or something.
Just chewing
like freaking
regular.
loud. She's like, just like chewing anything. She's just like, ugh. She's like, and then they were chewing and I just wanted to freaking punch her in the face. And I'm like, dang, I guess I better never eat in front of you. And so sometimes I'll be like, listen, I got to eat. So I don't know what you got to do. Like, plug your ears, figure it out, like sing a song. I don't know.
I can't imagine. It's a real thing, but I cannot imagine going through life like being agitated by eating.
It's not eating. It's like
the
sound of somebody eating or chewing, or even like imagine somebody having like dry mouth where it's like.
Oh, that actually does get to me, but I don't know why.
Because it's gross.
It's gross.
It's disgusting.
It's gross hearing that. Or kissing scenes where you hear the.
Okay, let's not.
Hey, listen. That's some bad stuff. But the lessons we're learning from this.
So yeah, I just, I don't know. I feel like I'm learning a lot of different things, but I'm trying not to get caught up in one specific person's, what they did, because they're still so different. And I think I'm just getting to a point where it's kind of like, I got to figure out just what I need to do. Yeah. Like, and what am I interested in doing?
I think that's a huge call out. I think we often can get caught up in the rat race of, this person took headshots with that person. Well, we need to go get headshots there. Or,
oh gosh.
That class, someone got booked on SNL. We should go take class there. Or, like
it's everything. It's so crazy. It's like, that girl cut her hair. Maybe I should cut my hair.
And it's like what we're learning is tune into what makes you an artist. What's your point of view?
And tune into who you are.
What do you like?
It's such a shit show in your mind of like what you think you should be doing because somebody posts on social media that they booked a job at this studio, and then everybody's like, well, then I need to go study at that studio.
And some studios will say that they tutored students that did great things.
But
coached students that did great things, and like that student went to one class. Like that happens all the time.
And it's funny when you actually see that though. Like on now that I've been, because at first you're very impressionable. You're like, at this studio, so and so we just booked a reoccurring on this, and it's like, wow, they must be like churning out like all these working actors, and like knowing now, it's like sometimes somebody will go and take like a month class there to just get it on their resume. And once they have you in their database, it's like, oh, you bet your ass. Like once you book that one credit, they're going to like throw your ass on their like
marketing and
be like, so-and-so just booked this. And it's like,
so for an example, let's say I had my own acting studio and Nadia came in 1 week to see if she even liked my studio. Well, guess what? She takes my class for a week or a month or whatever, and then she bounces.
It would probably be a month at least.
At least.
Or like a workshop or whatever.
She goes and does her thing. She gets a Netflix special coming out. It's all her. Well, guess what? My little butt's going to go, hey, I coached this person to success. Come to my acting school.
Some people do that and some people don't, but it is funny
it's
how
so funny.
It's like this. There will be 3 or 4 different studios that like are claiming it's like their claim to fame, and it's crazy because I guess everybody's trying to like get like notoriety however they can.
Well, it's all the rat race, you know, like not just for actors, but for the casting directors or the coaches, like trying to build enough credits, which is successful actors, for your acting studio is also a hard deal.
Well, it's all of it. It's like, you know, I think it's one of those things where it's like you have to figure out like what is going to essentially work for you and who understands you. Yeah. And honestly, sometimes you're not gonna get that until you go through it, right?
You're talking about like finding an acting
like
school,
finding an acting coach, like even I've shot with, I probably have spent over, I'm not even kidding, like $20,000 in headshots in like in the amount of time that I've been doing this work. I mean, it gets expensive from doing like there was one year that I think I shot headshots 3 or 4 times. Like
good night.
Like literally, it was like I shot headshots with this one girl because this other girl shot with her, and her headshots came out to be like so amazing, but we were so clearly different types. And then I was like, I'm gonna shoot with this girl, but then all my shots were not even specific. Like it was almost like it wasn't even me. And then I chopped my hair off to like chin length. So then she shot me again, and then it was like this weird thing that she did where like she would give you the final pics that you wanted, but she would also edit them. And she like edited my face so much that it didn't even look like I had cheeks. It looks like I had eaten a tub of top ramen the day before, and I was so bloated because my face just looked plump and round. And I was like, this doesn't even look like me. It's almost like I didn't even have an indentation from my eyes to like my cheeks.
That is some great photoshopping.
No, it was bad. And then I was like, oh, hell no. So I emailed her back, and I was like, girl, like, what?
Don't worry about those edits.
Like, how about, like, no. How about, like, this ain't going to work for me. So then I went and bought clip-on extensions.
Yes.
That I was like, screw this. I'm going to glue these clip-ons into so I can look more like a Latina because it's so stupid. So then I went and got these clip-ons, and then we shot again.
Oh my goodness.
But then like everybody was like, oh, like you don't want to have too much makeup on. So like, and then I had almost no makeup on, and then those look like shit too. So honestly, I didn't use any of her headshots pretty much ever.
Wow.
And it was a couple $1,000s. And then it's like, it's just, it's a thing. And then I had shot with this other photographer who's very well known. So I'm not going to say her name because she is amazing. She makes everybody look beautiful, and she is awesome. And it's just a very specific look. But some agents don't love her stuff. Yeah. For the fact that like,
which happens too, which is so funny. Like sometimes your agents will be like, "Oh, I don't like headshots by that photographer." Yeah. And you're like, "Oh, okay.
All right. So I already spent $1,200, but okay, cool. So I shot with her, and I thought the pictures were great. And then, I sent them to a couple of agents and shopped them around. And then I had somebody call me in, and they were like looking at their computer and then looking at me and then looking at their computer and then looking at me. And they were like, okay, you look nothing like your headshot. You look like a gothic, like a pale, like heavier. And I was like, don't hold back.
In your headshot, they're saying your headshot looked like this, or you in person?
My headshot looks like this, and I don't look like that in person. Got it. And it was like this just really weird thing, and whatever. I ended up using that shot commercially for a while, and I did great with it. It was just, there was a look that I had really dark hair and really red lips, and they weren't feeling it theatrically. And so,
which actually we should probably like land on for if you are listening and you're wanting to be an actor. Headshots are a really important piece of it, and I think there's some misconceptions going around there. I know that I have chased the rabbit on that a lot, and I think what we've kind of landed on, and I think the best advice is, a good headshot is not one that makes you look different than what you are. Mm-hmm. A good headshot is one that can portray the essence of who you are.
It's like you on your best day.
You on your best day, but also like it's more than just you smiling at the camera. It's like you're portraying something. And the best way to see it is to look at good headshots. You can't
Oh
really...
my God, but it's so bad. Like I've had some, I mean, I've shot with the top of the top to like the no names. I literally had, who was it? I can't, I don't know if it was a girl. I think it was a girl. I hope it wasn't a guy, but a photographer. But I think it was a girl. And literally, excuse me, but she was like, okay, now look into the camera and say like, I want to fuck you.
What?
Like basically like say it with your eyes. And I'm like, what? I'm literally like, bitch, I don't even want, like, who am I saying this to? She like they want to like pull these emotions from you. And it's like,
that's
literally
crazy.
That's like so awkward. I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to sell some like
I want to get
Lobster.
a Honda spot.
Like I'm trying to get a spot with like Dunkin' Donuts. Like that's what I'm like selling. Like I don't need to like be saying that with my eyes. Like sorry. But literally every shot was like, now you want to rip somebody's clothes off. And I'm like, so that means I look like this? Like how do you want me to look? Like I don't even get it. So it's just
that's something that it kind of escapes me.
This industry is nuts.
It is that, but that's what escapes me is like, you know, we're given advice to find a headshot person, a photographer that kind of jives with you and gets you. But I don't even know how you do that short of just taking photos with someone and seeing if they work out.
Well, some photographers will meet with you. And I think
that's good.
Some photographers will meet with you or like do like a pre-consultation to kind of like talk about like they'll like ask, well, let me see your old headshots and what kind of stuff do you book? And if they've been in the industry long enough, I think that they can understand
the needs.
Like I know Theo and Juliet does. I've never shot with them, but I have a lot of friends who like their stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that they take the time to do that.
And also their portfolios.
And yeah, like obviously if you see, like I'm not going to go shoot with somebody that shoots all models. Like I'm just not. Like
you don't want to blow them out of the water.
Oh yeah. Sure. But yeah, it's like I've literally shot with like so many people like, and then I've had agents that are like, you need to do pigtails because like you want to be like funny. And I'm like, okay, like the pom-poms, like pigtails that are like up on your head. It's like I never wear my hair like this. Why am I doing this?
One of the best advice, best because of comedy, but it's actually the worst advice that I've ever gotten, is when I first came to LA, some dude was like, you need to get headshots looking like a garbage man. And then you need to get headshots looking like a cowboy. Because
a garbage man and a cowboy really look like you could play both.
Yeah,
no.
He's literally telling me I need to actually physically put on the garbage man outfit so that the casting director will understand.
But that was the thing back in the day. Like people used to have like their scrubs on.
That's
and
so
like,
funny.
And like a cop outfit. And it's like, what is
any casting director out there? If you still require us to be in a garbage man suit, I'm going to be one to say imagination is important.
Well,
maybe it should be
know.
exercised.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
and for all those casting directors that aren't crazy, they're hearing me and going, yeah, totally. We can definitely see it.
Why do you have a cowboy hat on?
Exactly.
I don't know.
I can imagine you with a cowboy hat on.
But some people, I don't know. I don't know, man. But the truth is, we are saying this, and it's our opinion.
It is.
Because the truth is, some agents are going to tell you to do that.
Yeah.
And if that's your agent, how that's on you. Like, if that's how your team is working and that's what works for you, then
definitely
let us know if that works.
With the exception of like being taken advantage of, definitely go with what your team is telling you, but don't hesitate to kind of be involved
ask some
in
questions
that process
and have an opinion
and be like, why
be like, you guys work for us, kind of. That's another crazy thing that like a lot of times for the longest time you feel like you get an agent or you get a manager, and here's the thing, there shouldn't be any pride or ego, but I think that sometimes it's like actors kind of come in with their legs in between their tails sometimes, where it's
Right.
like, oh my God, I don't want to ask questions because I don't want them to be mad at me, and I don't want them to not sign me, or I don't want them to drop me. But it's like, hey, don't be annoying. Don't be that actor that's calling them every 5 minutes, being like, hey, how come I'm not going out?
Yeah.
Or hey, are you submitting me? Or hey, are you doing this? But also, you should be able to call your agent or your manager and like have a educated question or a legit concern that you should be able to talk to them freely. And I think
And you shouldn't be made to feel like that's a dumb question or wasting their time.
yeah, I mean, don't be annoying, because they should be on the
Totally.
like, pitching you and trying to get you work.
And they have other clients, and
Yeah.
as an actor, you should understand that if you were any of the other clients, you would want their time as well.
Exactly. But yeah, you don't want to feel like they're working for you. Like you're
Yeah.
paying them. Like when you get paid, they get a cut of your money.
Right.
But this is like the one weird industry where you feel sometimes as an actor where you like almost have nothing to offer. And I think
Right.
just to kind of, it just hit me. I think that one of the things that I'm learning through the people that we've interviewed is that they don't feel, I don't feel like they have an essence, or like not an essence, but like a spirit of like not having worth or something to offer.
Yeah.
Like they're coming in with like confident, and like they have something to offer the team, versus like, I don't want to be a burden, and
Yeah.
please take me, like please sign me, I'll prove to you that I can do this.
Yeah.
And maybe they weren't always like that, but that's one of the things that I feel like I've learned.
Yeah, and it is such a like a personal journey, and I know we're not just talking to actors when we're saying, getting into the entertainment industry. When you first start off in every field, you look around and you're like, why would anyone pick me? So you're so thankful for any job that you're almost willing to put up with stuff, which I mean we've seen in the news has caused a lot of poor behavior.
Yeah.
Like that dynamic, but you're right. It's about finding within yourself as an artist, in whatever medium, whether you're an actor or a director, but finding within yourself what is your point of view. And it kind of
Yeah.
goes back to what we were saying earlier, where it's like, for me, I find more confidence than ever when I'm doing something that I'm proud of.
Yeah, or
Like
that you're excited about.
That I'm excited about, that I'm proud of, that, like when I was in a ongoing class, that whenever I would put up a scene in that class and I'd be really excited about that scene or how it went or the notes that I got, it's like that's the most inspired that I felt
Yeah.
or feel. And I think that you got to look for things like that you do, that when you do go into that room and you have the tendency to feel like you're nothing, you have something to draw from.
Yeah.
And it's like, so if you are chasing that rabbit and you're going around and you're taking that class because someone else told you to, and you're cutting your hair because it looked good on that other person, and you're
Yeah.
taking photos with this other person because it's looking at you, then you're going to lose, speaking from experience, you're going to lose the connection to why you even love what you're doing. And then you're going to wake up one day going, do I even love it? Do I love doing this job?
It's almost like you kind of lose yourself in the process. It's
Yeah.
kind of like
You can.
without even knowing it. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing. Yeah, like I have a friend that might be like, hey, I took this commercial class and it's amazing. You should check it out. And that's also like a good thing to have
Definitely.
recommendations, to be like, hey, like I'm learning so much. But if your motivation is, I saw this on the internet, this person booked there, they must be amazing. Like that's
Yeah.
the only reason. And it's like you're kind of wavering. I think that there's like an essence of wavering
Totally.
and kind of like not being committed and just flippant. I think that then becomes the rat race of like, well, I studied there and that didn't happen for me. And that, like what happened there? And well, she wears glasses now, so like I should go wear glasses to all
Yeah.
of my auditions too. It's just like this weird thing where there's like these trends where it's like all of a sudden everybody cuts their hair,
Yeah.
everybody gets glasses, everybody starts wearing like Peter Pan collar shirts to every audition. And I guess that's like the nature of the beast, but then we all kind of start looking the same. So it's kind of crazy.
It is something to walk into a room and see like 20 of you sitting around.
Yeah.
and being like, because you audition for roles and they're looking for specific types for specific roles, so you're usually with the other people that are going out for the same role. And generally speaking, with the exception of some auditions, but you look around and you're like, oh man, everyone's got a mustache.
And you're like,
And I'm
wow.
like, oh,
And all these dudes have facial hair, and it's real specific.
There's nothing like going from like the feeling of you are unique to
You're not so
seeing how-
unique at all.
Exactly. To walking into a room being like, oh, you're one of a million. And in LA, you're one of 11 million. So like if someone told you you're one in a million in LA, they mean you're one of 11. And it's like, there's 11 of you. Like, so that's not a special compliment. You know what I mean?
And there's probably even more.
And there's probably more. And it's one of those things where I think I'm learning, and we're trying. I mean, you and I are really trying to make this our practice, just not what we talk about with you guys on our podcast, but we want to do what we love. We want to put out the kind of entertainment, the kind of stories that we would go and watch.
Yeah, or that we feel like we're good at.
Yeah, because ultimately it's like, I think in doing so, you can get hired onto any other show, but you have passion and you have creativity, and it's from doing the things that you love. So even if you're hired on a show that you don't love,
Well, yeah,
you're still being
because
filled.
I think there was this woman from a class that I once took, and she was talking about how with acting it's so hard because you spend the majority of your time trying to get work, at least for some people.
Yeah.
Then you actually do working. So
Yeah.
every job is so precious and every opportunity is so precious.
Yeah.
And she was saying that, she had been working for so long that for her, the truth was that not every job was awesome.
Right.
Not every character was her favorite role. It's like she kind of equated it to like a dentist or a dental hygienist that comes in and has patients that are coming in all day. And it's like not every patient is fun or every patient is pleasant. Like sometimes there will be those patients that are like, oh God, this guy's coming in today. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when your jobs as an actor are so far and few in between, it's like every job is like, oh my God, even though that job might not be like
Right.
the meatiest or like the one that's gonna like showcase just your ability. Like
you could be walking in and giving files to the other actors.
at the end of the day, it's a freaking job.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
but it's such a coveted job that it makes it feel like it's a hard job to break into, so you do want to like appreciate that and not take it for granted. But it's like I did a job once for Aflac years ago where I was there all day and I literally sat on a bench and read a book. That was what I did. I sat on a bench and read a book. I did not need to look up. They never asked me to look up from reading the book. I literally sat there and read a prop book for 8 hours, and I read about the Menendez brothers. And I was like, "Oh, dang, this is crazy."
That story is crazy, actually. I think there's
Yeah.
a documentary coming out on it.
I think so too. I can't remember. But
There's always a documentary coming out.
But yeah, another thing to like kind of talk about is, well, we haven't really finished reading it, but you started this morning thing. The morning,
Yes.
What is it called? The morning
It's
miracle?
the Miracle Morning.
Is that what it's called?
The Miracle Morning. Yeah.
Okay. So a friend of mine told me about this book.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a lame name.
Yeah. Well,
I ain't trying to be mean, but that's a silly name. The Miracle Morning.
Well, there is nothing miraculous. Well, I shouldn't say there ain't nothing as a miracle morning. In the morning, I'm tired and I just want to go back to sleep, y'all.
But it is actually really cool. The whole premise of the book is often we go through life and it's this domino effect of poor decisions equaling a harder decision, and it just kind of, throughout your whole day, you wake up late and then you don't have time to get a shower, and then you go to work and you're rushing and you didn't have breakfast, and then you didn't have a shower, so now you feel self-conscious. So the work that you're doing all day is spent in your head, and then you get home and you're frustrated and tired and you stink and you need to take a shower now, and now there goes your night, and then you go to bed late because you don't want to go to bed after you take a shower because you had a long day and you need to treat yourself, right? That's like the standard pattern. You
Yeah.
know, like it's a cascading, poor decision, bad feeling day. There's nothing about it that is managed. There's nothing about it that is intentional. And the point of the book that I've garnered so far and kind of started putting into practice is that if you can begin your day, begin your morning specifically an hour before you normally wake up. Like for me, I've been waking up at 6. Through this process, I've learned that I actually have to wake up a little earlier because there's a couple of things that I want to do that I can't in that hour. But essentially, you start by going an hour, and you got 10 minutes devoted to different specific things, right? The first 10 minutes is devoted to meditation, prayer, reading scripture, reading whatever.
Affirmations, whatever.
No, the affirmations is another one.
Oh, okay.
This one is primarily about just kind of spending that time in silence, right? Silence or whatever gets your day started. Then the second one is affirmations. Then I'm not going to lie to you. I am someone I've always thought like, oh, that's silly. Like talking to yourself and saying you're doing good things whenever you're not, you know? Like I've kind of, I would say kind of been like that. It's not going to work. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
isn't affirmations though? It's not necessarily like talking about things that you're not doing, but like speaking words that are affirming about you. So whether it's like, I am smart, I am bold, or I don't know.
yeah. And in my case, when I'm not smart and I'm saying I am smart,
He's like, but I'm not. I'm a freaking dummy.
Affirmations are
Dummy,
taking,
dumb.
they're definitely affirming who you are, but also who you want to be. So it can be something that you're not yet.
Well, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think I've had somebody actually tell me that like years ago, this holistic doctor that I was seeing, he would like write it down and before you go to bed, read your affirmations. And I'm kind of like, oh God, like really, I'm going to say, okay, maybe I should have done it. But
well, as a brief aside, we are learning through therapy that your brain, when you have a thought regularly, it creates an indentation in your brain. And then basically that's a shortcut to that thought, right? It's a roadmap. It creates
like a pattern and
like
roadmap where that's like.
And so the more you think that thought, the more that road is engraved in your brain. So literally if you are thinking a negative thought, the more you think that negative thought, the easier it will be for your brain to go to that negative thought, and the spiral continues. Yeah. So part of affirmations is speaking the positive of that negative lie. So like if you are like, oh, I'm so tired, which I've, admittedly done a lot. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Guess what? My brain's going to go, I'm tired first thing before I go, but I'm actually happy. I'm actually content. Oh, I'm excited to wake up. None of those thoughts happen first. The first thing is, I wish I had more sleep. Well, that's because there's been 30 years of me going, I wish I had more sleep. You know what I mean? So affirmations are kind of speaking to changing those patterns. But so affirmations are the second 10 minutes. And then you go into 10 minutes of reading. Like, so if there's a book that you haven't read that you've been meaning to, right? If there's like a self-help book or a fiction that you're like, you know what? I've just been wanting to pull that off the shelf and get started. You do that for 10 minutes. After that, then you do journaling for 10 minutes. So what is that, 4? We're at 4?
I think so.
Yeah, so then you do journaling for 10 minutes, and then you do one more thing for 10 minutes.
I know that there's exercising.
Exercising I save for the last, but there's one more thing that visioning. So this is something
visualizing.
I was
like, what's visioning?
So those steps are this. So you do like 10 minutes in meditation, prayer, whatever. Then you do 10 minutes in affirmations, 10 minutes in reading, 10 minutes in visualization, and then 10 minutes of exercise. We'll come back on the exercise. But the 10 minutes of visualization, I'm so excited about this. That the night that Nadia and I read this chapter, I went and got us magazines.
He's like, hey, so do you want to do some vision boards? And I was like, yeah, like sure, why not?
I had
'Cause-
never heard. I've never done a vision board in my life.
And I've heard of them, and I'm always kind of like, I've always rolled my eyes at them, kind of like,
Yeah.
oh god, it's just a waste of time. And
Totally.
clearly, like, it's just good old optimistic me. But he was like, great, and he's like, no, like tonight, and I was
Yeah.
like, right now, like you want to go? Like we don't have magazines here.
I was like, I'm gonna go get them. I'm gonna go up to the newsstand. I'm gonna get some magazines.
I was like, do you know how much magazines cost? They're like freaking like $15 magazines. Like they're so. He's like, no. Well,
just get a couple.
I'll get a couple. What do you want me to get? What do you want me to get? Some like women's like this and that. And I'm like, honestly, like I don't even know what I would have you get for me because I'm so not conventional. Like I'm like super like health conscious and like no toxins, but also like healthy living, but also like I'm into just like different things. So, like what would I want to like visualize? So you go out and go get a bunch of magazines.
So I go and get a bunch of magazines. I thought this would take us a grand total of 30 minutes, right? It's like 9 or 10 at night. I can't remember how late it is at this point, but I'm like, we're gonna go do a vision board. Because my whole life had thought that's ridiculous. And pause, don't judge me yet. Don't get mad at me yet. Because I'm coming around and I'll share that experience. So even though I thought it was ridiculous, I thought, you know what? There is something to visualizing. We had seen, we've been on this kick of watching Dance Moms, which
it's so crazy that we're even watching the show because literally I was just like, this crazy bitch. I was like,
oh my gosh.
I literally was like, I feel like I've heard stuff about this freaking lady, and I was like, let's just watch, and we've got sucked in.
We are sucked in totally. We're like finding ways to like subscribe to
like other things. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, this bitch, I was like, I would not be having my daughter at that school. I would be like, what? I'll knock you out. But as we're watching it, and she's crazy. Like, we're not trying to say that she should like be abusive, but we're finding that there's a method to the madness. But
there is a method to the madness, and she does produce greatness. But beyond that, I would see these like 10-year-old dancers, 13-year-old dancers on the side wing. Every show they perform their numbers at the end of the show, right? And it's generally really impressive. And I would see these kids be in the side wings, they're dancers, so they're kind of slowly moving their body, but you can tell that they're zoned into their imagination. And what they're doing is they're going step by step for every move. They're imagining themselves move through that dance.
Yeah.
So that by the time that they're on stage, they have this muscle memory that's not only physically because they've been practicing throughout the week, but it's also a mental memory, which I think is really cool. And then I was like, oh, there's definitely something to this visualization, this putting yourself in the position in your mind first, so that when you get there and you're in a new space, your mind is not thrown for a loop, and then you can almost go into a muscle memory of your mind. So I thought, you know what? There's something to this vision board. I do not believe, and I still do not believe, and I don't think I'll ever believe that there is this mystical, I don't believe in The Secret. I don't think that you can just be like, hey.
You're going to get some hate mail.
Hey, and you know what? I'm not going to hate on you for it, so I hope you don't hate on me for it. Here's what I mean by this. I don't think that there's anything beyond focus is everything. You talk about putting it out there in the universe. What I believe is happening is you're focused on it. We did this thing.
But it's crazy because even with that logic, like I've always said to myself, okay, because I read The Secret and I watched it, and listen, there's some good stuff to it, but to me it's also like, all right, like whatever, I'm not going to get into this whole theological discussion conversation here right now, but to me it's like, okay, I had a friend, a client that we talked about this because she's like, you got to read this book by Abraham Hicks, and it's like the law of attraction and this and this and that. And like, I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, so then like, it's great that you can like think that you can attract these things, but then like, what's the flip side to that? So like anything negative that happens to you, you're also attracting that. Like,
right.
like it's almost like a slippery slope, because I think that leaves too much in the hands of like you, and like, I don't know, it's a whole thing, but
yeah, no, totally.
But
so
and then
like,
it's also
for
like
instance,
all 7 actresses sitting here, we're all doing The Secret. Guess what? One of us is getting this part.
Right.
Like, we're not all gonna attract this role.
Exactly. And so again, not trying to be hateful, or and it has nothing to do with it. Yeah, we're not trying to like bag on you if you believe in this, but what I believe is happening is I believe that you're putting blinders onto everything that doesn't matter, and you're focusing in on the thing that does. So you're going to look for opportunities to progress in that career.
Well,
You're
it's
going to
like-
look for opportunities to meet someone. If what you're secreting is a relationship, you're going to be thinking of, and you're going to be more aware. It's kind of like that. We did this thing in therapy. We love therapy, by the way, but we did this thing where our therapist asked us to close our eyes and then think of a color, right? And I think the color was brown at first. And he was like, all right, so think of brown, 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 whatever. And now open your eyes, and I want you to look around the room, and I want you to tell me if there's anything blue. Right? So we open our eyes, and we look around, and we can't see anything blue.
No, that's not how it went.
Can you?
Yeah, I'm like, that's not how it went at all.
Whoopsie.
Nope.
Can you describe what I forgot?
Yes. So basically, the way that it went was he has you look around the room and just look around.
Yeah.
And then he has you close your eyes and then say, now tell me everything that you saw that was brown. And it's like this weird thing, like it's almost like you can't even remember. It's this weird thing, to be quite honest. I don't actually remember how it goes, but I know that it wasn't like that though.
I think it was.
It was not like that at all,
I think
because
it was.
it wasn't like that. He didn't say, now tell me everything that was blue, because the whole point is that you're focusing on everything that was. I'm going to have to call Bob and ask him.
Oh, I think it's a merging of both of ours. Okay. I think I remember, you're right, and I'm a little right, but you're more right. So what he has us do first is not close our eyes. I was way off. You look around the room, and then he goes, look at everything that's brown, right? So you're looking at everything that's brown. You're like, that chair, that picture frame, this, that, and the other. Boom, 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 boom. You're looking at everything. And then he says, close your eyes and tell me what was blue. Because the whole point of it is this. Whatever you're focused on is what you see.
Maybe
neither
that's what
of
it was.
us neither of us said anything that
Like,
was
we
blue.
couldn't even remember anything else. But I mean, I guess that would make sense. I don't even know why that would be an exercise, because if you're going to focus on just the purple, that's what you're going to put your attention on.
but
So
that's
I don't see how that would be a trick. But
it's not a trick, but it's a greater exercise to say, well, that is what's happening whenever, for
when you're
instance,
choosing to focus on negativity,
if you're choosing to focus on negativity
or positivity,
or positivity, whatever that is. If you're only looking at the good, then you are going to miss red flags, for instance. You know what I mean? Like if something you shouldn't go into. But that was the point of it, just to kind of acknowledge like a physical thing to a mental truth. You know that whatever you focus in on, you're focused in on. But to experience it viscerally, to actually not be able to see blue, and then to open your eyes and go, oh my gosh, there's this huge blue chair right there. And I
Yeah.
completely missed it. It kind of gives you a visceral experience so that you can tie what you know intellectually to what you feel, which I think is the point of it. But going back to the vision board, I think that's what it is. I truly believe that what you're doing is you're setting your sights on something, whatever your goals are, whether it be relationally, career, for your life, whatever it is. You're setting yourself in a direction, and you're saying, for instance, whatever I tell, I will tell it passionately. So whenever I think about like telling stories, if I have that here, whenever I'm in the mode of telling a story, it will be something that's either readily on my mind or inside of me,
right.
as a mental muscle memory that I will tell this story passionately. So everything in me is geared towards that direction. So
That's the hope, anyway, that you're like constantly being reminded by the things that are around you. So when you're like, because obviously I don't listen, like I don't think that you can like visualize all day and not like have any action. Like that's just daydreaming. Like there's like, I don't know, like that's just literally like, I know too many people when I first started acting years ago that I feel like they've done that their whole career, which is daydream. Like they haven't done things. They're not proactive. They're not trying to get better. They're not trying to learn. They're not trying to evolve. They're not trying to find a new strategy, but they're just like, yeah, like I'm going to visualize myself having this like amazing career. But it's like, what are you doing? And literally they have not done anything, period.
So maybe the secret of the secret is visualizing mixed with action.
I don't know. Maybe.
Dun,
I don't
dun,
know.
dun.
I don't remember the book,
The secret part 2.
There is a secret part 2.
Really? There's more?
I think that there is. I believe there
Awesome.
was. All
There
that
should
to
be
say is
we did vision boards.
we did vision boards, guys.
We're so excited about
and
it.
we both were like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? But we
was
freaking
fun.
did it, and it was so fun, and it was so cool to see the things that we're excited about.
Yeah.
And
It's a reminder. So
yeah.
going back to the morning routine, 10 minutes of it is for me looking at this board and being reminded of what the work that we did that night, but also what did we select? What did I select as this is where I want to head? And the point of doing this miracle morning, just to wrap it all up, is when you start your morning intentionally and you can kind of control those segments and you can pick the book that you want to read and you can pick the visualization and all that, then the rest of the day is something that doesn't overwhelm you. Now, being truthful with you guys, I struggle with, with all of this. I struggle with waking up. I struggle with discipline. I struggle with, getting excited about a million different things and forgetting to do the thing that matters. So this is part of what I'm trying to do to kind of correct what I believe is an area of growth for me.
And I haven't really started it yet. I'm the type that needs to read the book first.
She's the good student, and I'm the let's do it.
And
Let's
he's like,
go see
let's
what
do it, even though I don't know what the instructions are, and I really have no idea what
cliff
they all
noted
are.
it.
Yeah, he literally went on Pinterest and went to look and pulled out a sheet.
I did,
and that's awesome. But I'm kind of I'm more of the why are we doing this, and how are they doing this, and okay, that's just me. But
and you guys, I'm sure you either identify as me, or you identify as her,
or none of us,
or none of us, or you're a weird combination of you like the instructions and you like to go for it.
Yeah, or you're like, I'm already doing all that.
I think it'll work. I hope it'll work.
Well, listen, I don't think it's a gimmick. I don't think listen, for me,
and to be helpful to anyone who might have been hurt by what I said about The Secret, I don't think The Secret is a gimmick. I don't think he's trying to sell you something that he doesn't believe in. So just to go back to that, I don't think it's a gimmick. I think that he believes it. I personally think that it is a result of your intention being matched with your goals.
Well, your intention being, I can't speak for you, but for me, it's your intention being matched with your actions.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's one of those things where, you got to put in the work, but you also got to believe that it can happen.
Right.
I think. And I think that that's marrying the two.
And being open for crazy things to happen.
Yeah.
And following the lead,
Yeah. And just, kind of being bold and courageous and being able to see yourself in those positions and being able to see yourself succeeding and being able to see yourself doing those things, but actually doing things to get there.
Yeah.
And, it's with the morning stuff, I just think it's an issue of being proactive and, getting up and doing. And I think
intentional, that word. That word means a lot to me, and it's something that has evaded me. I'm not trying to, be down on me or whatever, but it's true. I want to be intentional about everything. I want to have a plan for everything, and hopefully this will help with that. I think, kind of wrapping up what you were saying. I think, to me, every great Olympian has visualized themselves on the podium winning that gold.
Oh, for sure.
But that same Olympian has visualized themselves in heat 1.
But that same Olympian also probably gets up and trains their heart out.
That's what I mean. They're visualizing the race that they have to do before anyone sees them on any kind of scale.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I gotta eat this food in this certain way so that I can exercise my best today.
Right.
And that has nothing to do with the Olympics. But that part is as visualized as winning that gold medal. And I think marry the two.
Yep.
Get excited about what's possible, but also do what's in front of you.
Yeah, you got to put one foot in front of the other and just be bold.
So what are we doing, you and me, to put one foot in front of another? I know what we're doing. I want to share it with them. So what's our one foot in front of the other?
Okay, I don't know what
I'll go first.
Okay.
I've been working on a short film. I've been working on a short film for over a year and a half maybe.
Yeah, it's too long.
Honestly, too long for a short film. I'm a little embarrassed saying that, but to be real with you guys, this short film I've been doing all of it. So writing, which hasn't come natural to me. I've been leaning on Nadia for some edits and some awesome writer friends in my life, and for good notes and direction and stuff like that. But so I've been writing that, but it's also a comedy musical.
Yeah.
Because I do music as well, and I thought,
and
why not?
He's so talented.
Thanks, babe. And so I thought, why not marry the two and do a comedy musical that I can put up in film festivals? Because I had a revelation about a year and a half ago. I was like, man, I need to be doing more film. And I'm like, where do these film people hang out? And I was like, why haven't I ever thought of just putting out my own stuff at a film festival? I don't know why I haven't thought that. And if you're listening to this and you're rolling your eyes because that's a stupid thing to say, hey, I'm going to be real with you guys. I should have thought of it, and I didn't. But anyways, so I've been writing this thing for a while, but now it's actually, the script is locked, and I'm so pumped about that.
Now he's just doing the songs, and you got one.
I finally unlocked the secret to one song that I have been working on, which is the anthem. Essentially, like how I want that song to feel is what I've been going after. And I unlocked it this past week. I'm so pumped about that. And so the next step is finishing the second song to hopefully have the breakthrough moment like I had with the first one.
Yep.
Record a demo.
So good.
And then it's pre-production, babe. Then I'm pulling together a team and we're gonna shoot it.
Well, we're gonna hopefully start like casting it, table reading it.
Yep.
Trying to like raise the funds for it and figure out how we're going to get that funded. We've had some like really good conversations with some amazing friends that have given us some pointers for that. Yeah. So that's awesome.
So that's what I'm doing. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I have a show coming up next month. It's like,
what kind of show?
I always tend to downplay things, and that's my own issue. So I'll be working on that. So thank you. I'm doing my first stand-up show.
Yay!
Yeah. It's super exciting and scary. I joke that I'm a closeted stand-up comedian because I haven't come out yet. Because I feel like I felt when I was first starting at like acting, when I didn't want to tell people I was an actress, or I was trying to I was like, well, how do I tell people? And they're like, well, what do you do? It's like, oh, well, I'm an actress. And then it was always backed up with, well, like, what have I seen you on? And at the time I hadn't really done anything. So it's like, nothing. It's like this weird thing where it's like,
you feel self-conscious
you don't feel like you can claim that title or at least I felt like that because I didn't have substantial credits under my name. So, I guess I wouldn't call myself a stand-up comedian because I haven't done any stand-up, but I have this like desire to investigate or like tap into that and kind of see what that leads to, whether it's just writing more, whether it's just helping with my comedy in general more or whatever. But so I'm doing a show August 14th at 8:30 p.m.
Yes.
And I've been working with this amazing woman. Her name is Susanna Spies, and she has kind of helped me put together all these crazy ideas that I've already had into like an outline and kind of just teach me like some fundamental stuff. And we're gonna see what happens. Like,
Yay.
I gotta rewrite some stuff that I've actually trying to like really hone in on it and make it my own. So for now, that's my putting one foot in front of the other.
I love it.
And that's like a huge thing for me because I've been talking about doing this for at least 5 or 6 years now.
And you're doing it. And
it's taken me way too long.
It's good. You can't say that because you'd feel self-conscious. It's good. I'm so excited and I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. I knew that you would be good at this. But whenever she would go over her show, I'm like laughing with her. She's not even performing it. So I'm like, the concepts are great. I can't wait to see you perform it. So are you wanting to open it up to have people who listen to the show come?
Well, I'm going to let y'all know.
She'll let us know.
For sure.
Like, the closer we get to it.
I don't know the name of the location yet. I already have invited a few people personally. And obviously, you know, whoever's listening, if you want to come on out.
We'll give the details.
We'll give the details as I know more. But it's so funny because once I sat down to actually start writing out some of this stuff, I realized there were so many things that I wanted to include, and I'm like, I only have 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's a great place to be.
And it is, because I felt like, oh my God, but like this, I want to talk about this too, but I want to talk about this. So I guess we'll just leave it for my Netflix special one day.
That's right. Hey, that not only is that correct, but that's on your vision board. Ladies and gentlemen, put one foot in front of the other. Whatever that means to you. Nod. We did it.
We got another one. Locked and loaded.
I got to tell you, we are honored and so excited that you're listening to the show. It was an idea a few months ago, and now it's real, and you guys are listening. Yeah. And we're in 8 countries and all over the world, which is crazy. And we're so thankful for you guys. And the last thing that I wanted to say is, to celebrate all this, we put together a new website. We got obviously the AirPod giveaway that's happening.
Don't forget about that.
In July of 2019. So if you're just finding us and it's, I don't know, March of 2022.
It's over.
The AirPods are given away. But we do actually have awesome t-shirts available for sale.
Oh yeah, you guys check out our website. We have these amazing t-shirts that they can be gifts for, like, we have like these amazing shirts that say "Cast Me," ethnically ambiguous.
And then I bought this shirt to support my favorite podcast.
So we can do anything with those t-shirts. We can do like #actor, #8#1agent, they're awesome. So check them out.
Check them out just to see them if you like them. It's No Business Like Show Business. Our website is nobelikeshowbe.com, and then you'll see the store where you can look for merch.
Check it out, y'all.
Nod, we did it.
Yes, we did.
Until next time.
Peace out.